Let me talk my shit, I'm tired of being subtle. Quarterback, I call a plays from inside a huddle. You think I'm deep when you speak, you barely leave a puddle. Here comes trouble, see I done rolled from the rubble. Kid, I'm the one, find the firefly with a better glow. Better yet, find the waterfalls with a better flow. I wait, I got peace, that's something you'll never know. And I aim for the stars when I set and go.
Magnum opus, 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 magnum opus. I'm magnificent, my flows is ridiculous. Something to the raps, I adapt like an 8-ball. Squad full of hustlers, all white Madonna. It smells like the Ronda Cobain, all the drama. Ooh. Magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus.
There's a strange feeling brewing inside my chest, and it's not success, it's not victory. It's assuredness. Assuredness, something I've been denied for over a decade. When I was telling you and telling you and telling you that I'm one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, to the point where I left my home and found all sorts of new homes everywhere, trying to find pieces that
Welcome to Pirate TV Episode 2. I am Josh Wheeler, the president of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, and we have on deck today Suge D showing his marvelous teching style against Thomas Shire, a Dory Funk trained hard-hitting motherfucker. That match is next. Danny Danger is at ringside to call the action.
Magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus, magnum opus. I'm magnificent, my flows is ridiculous. Something to the raps, I adapt like
Ladies and gentlemen, this one could be an absolute technical wrestling classic. Has all the markers. Thomas Shire, one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers in professional wrestling today, against the international techer, the international assassin of the hierarchy, Suge D.
And once again, I find myself up here with you, with a member of the hierarchy in the ring. Did you do this on purpose?
I did not, but the hierarchy, as the reigning kings of Atlanta, will be featured quite a lot. I apologize to you, I guess, you know, I mean, but you're going to I implore you to try and be as unbiased as possible. Shire taking his time, taking it outside, not letting Suge get fired up. Shire, a former #1 contender to the GWC, looks to make his way back up to the top. Suge, the international assassin, the best techer in the wrestling world.
Exuding confidence.
As he always does. And he looks to prove himself against some of the other people who are considered some of the best technical wrestlers. In December at Show of the Year 6, Suge D bested Alex Shelley, pinning him in the center of the ring here at AWE. They will have a rematch coming up in our next show on March 15th, back here at the District. But Suge wanted Thomas Shire. He's seen what Shire can do, and he wants to test himself against some of the best. A very unusual thing is that the championship is within the hierarchy. ACH is the GWC champion. You know, both Suge and Joe Black would love to have their hands on that belt again. But, you know, I would think that neither are really willing to challenge for that belt as long as it's already in the hierarchy. So Suge has an opportunity now to kind of play gatekeeper. If he were to beat Thomas Shire here tonight, Shire would find himself very, very, very far away from another shot at the championship.
Oh, but how glorious it would be to watch the hierarchy have to tear themselves apart to chase the title.
That is always a very real possibility.
You'll forgive me a little joy in the concept of that.
Shire, using his weight and size advantage, just kind of flattens on top of Suge. Shire, a very celebrated amateur wrestler, training under Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk was known to be one of the greatest grapplers of all time. Shire is a grappling master, loves to throw suplexes, forearms, strikes. He does them with precision and with extreme emphasis.
But here it looks like he's just trying to use his pure size advantage.
Well, Suge trying to out-wrestle. Suge has leaned himself up over the last year plus to try and kind of lanky himself out, so to speak, if that's even a word. But he has kind of tried to lean out his frame and use that to his advantage. His long limbs make it difficult to grab onto. He can kind of wrap around his opponents.
Well, if that is not a word, it should be. You used it well.
Shire able to slip out. Suge dives to the ropes before Shire's even able to slap on any kind of maneuver. Now just kind of toying with Suge. As serious and hard-nosed a competitor as Shire is, once the action gets hot and heavy, he sure does love to kind of play around, have a little fun. Very, very unusual kind of man.
And I've already discussed my disdain for showboating. It's time to hurt people, hurt them.
Suge now locks the front face lock there with the neck crank. Shire backs him up, hoists him onto the turnbuckles. Just kind of little brothered him there. Just absolute disrespect, kind of what a good job you did. Thanks for trying, friend.
You know, such taunts could work against you. Raise the anger in your opponent.
I mean, Suge is known to have a fiery temper, and we see it turning on a little bit there. Suge is very cool, calm, and collected, but sometimes that switch gets flipped. That fire comes on. Thomas Shire may or may not want that. He may be trying to get that fire in Suge, hoping that Suge will be sloppy and make a mistake.
Yes, getting into your opponent's head can work to your advantage in that regard. But timed incorrectly, it could be devastating to your own advantage.
Suge has the wrist now. Shire now hooks the leg of Suge. He's trying to split the legs open, back in a top position. Only gets a 2 count. Suge with the head scissors and the arm bar now. Controlling Shire's frame from the bottom position, from the guard. Shire squeezes his way out and hooks the legs, and it is now just politely tapping the bottom. I think he's trying to get into Suge's head. I think he's trying to piss Suge off and fire him up and hope that Suge gets a little sloppy and Shire can capitalize.
Again, I appreciate a good mind game, but there's a time and a place for it.
I mean, you just saw Suge slap the taste out of Shire's mouth. He might be regretting his decision a little bit. Just trading body shots. Half Nelson right down into the pin. Only gets a 2 count. Suge now bridge. They're just rumbling on the ground, jockeying for position. Grandpa Booker T right down there, catching these pinfalls as quick as they come.
It seems to me in the ground grappling match, the advantage would have to go to Shire.
You would think with his power and size that a grappling might be his advantage, having trained a lot longer in that style than Suge has. Once again, just positions him on the top rope and just kind of mocking Suge and Suge's abilities at grappling. Shire still seemingly not taking the grappling skills of Suge D seriously. Into it, Suge snaps the cravat, cranking away on the neck, hooks the leg, trying to stop Shire from getting his feet moving around out of it. Shire
again, the power advantage.
Pulling back on the chest, now into a dragon sleeper. Suge could be in a lot of trouble here.
And again, while not physically dominating, it does take a lot out of you when someone holds you like that.
Suge goes into a cover of his own, but Shire right there by the ropes. Shire also a world-traveled veteran himself, 10-plus year veteran of the wrestling game, spent time in Japan, spent time throughout the United States. Shire knows all the tricks. Back to a finger knuckle lockup. Greco-Roman style there, putting the head to the shoulder.
Reflections of his amateur background.
Very much so. Suge now steps on one hand, begins pulling at the fingers there on Shire. Now biting the hand. Getting a strong admonishment from the referee. Goes back to biting him again. Suge looks to be trying to rip the fingers right off the hand of Shire. Still has the fingers, pulling at those, pulling at the wrist, pulling at the elbow and the shoulder as he's got the legs in back mount. Turning it into a variation on the key lock there. Shire trying to use his powerful shoulders, but Suge locks on another arm bar. Puts the face right to Shire now, just pushing his neck as he's pulling on his ankles. Shire has to stomp his way out, but Suge hooks the hold back on again. Shire, ring positioning, knows where he is, puts his feet in the ropes to break that hold. Suge recently earning himself a little controversy by winning some matches in North Carolina by stomping on his opponent's head.
Well, I can respect that.
I mean, some people see that as going a little too far, just stomping on the head unprotected when the opponent is down, but Suge said he will do anything to win. Shire now uncorking those European uppercuts.
They all know when they step between those ropes what can happen. They all understand the possibilities.
Shire now changing levels, changing up his strikes. Has Suge on the ropes. Now just pulling on the necklace of Suge there, choking him.
It appears the fun and games are over.
Well, both men now resorting to a little underhanded tactics. Suge mixing up his strikes as well. Shire cuts him off with one sharp knee right into the midsection. And two thunderous hands.
I think I saw his soul hit the pole over there.
Very well might have just left his body for a moment. Shire now bending the rules once again, stepping on the throat, but he knows he has still a 5 count and he's willing to utilize that. Big European uppercut right between the shoulder blades. Only a 2 count, but stays on him. Puts more body on body. Even more so. Still only gets a 2 count. Shire knows he might not have gotten the win with those counts, but he's forcing Suge to exert the energy to shove his entire body weight off. Suge going for a cross arm breaker, but Shire once again knows exactly where he is. Rolls right into the ropes. Shire now pulling down the straps. Might be an introduction into some suplexes.
He does love to call his shot when it's time.
Now just taking a little extra time to mock Suge once again. Shire just taking his time laying those shots in the corner. Another strong one right into the midsection, trying to take the wind out of Suge.
Once again, I think he had an out-of-body experience with that.
The very, very heavy hands of Shire on display. Suge now mixing up his strikes once again. There's the power of Shire, just tosses Suge like a bag of sugar. Right into the cover. Only a 2 count. That's just pure strength, just tosses the man in air, giving him time to think about it before slamming him down. Almost makes it look effortless.
He needs to get back on top of him. Quit considering what could have been and focus on what is.
Shire now grabbing Suge by the neck, by the chin. European uppercut right to the back of the neck. But as you mentioned, Shire taking a lot of time.
Wasted breath.
He's talking a little bit, joking around with the fans, and now just a very lazy cover. Once again, just absolutely disrespecting the grappling ability of Suge D. Now, Shire with hooking him deep there. The seated abdominal stretch.
And working the ribs.
Taking his fingers and putting them in between the rib cage and squeezing for extra pain. Trying to spread the legs out as well.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to see.
Attacking multiple points. The abdomen with the abdominal stretch, digging the fingers into the rib cage, spreading out the legs, trying to work the hamstrings and those inner thigh muscles.
The agony must be excruciating. It's beautiful.
Suge's working his way back up to a standing position, though. Firing into the midsection. Shire shuts Suge down once again. Uncorks another vicious European uppercut. Suge senses that Shire might be getting a little winded. Took that first strike right to the body once again. Shire whipping Suge hard into the buckles.
Again, the power advantage has to go to Shire.
And now Shire just playing in the crowd. He's doing sit-ups, showing that he's not even breaking a sweat. He's still not taking the grappling game of Suge seriously.
Never take your opponent lightly, no matter who they are.
Shire taking his time with every single strike, with every single movement. Suge able to roll out of the way there. Once again, multiple shots to the abdomen. Big right hand. Shire still up on his feet though.
Suge with some trash talk of his own.
Big headbutt. Drops Shire. Suge falls down on top. 2, 3. So close to a victory there. That headbutt took a lot out of both men.
And that can be disheartening, thinking you have them beat right there at the final instant for them to kick out.
Suge getting this Atlanta crowd behind him. The Fanatics love Suge D. Feeding off their energy now to put the finishing touches, try to put Shire away. Shire follows him in this time. Big overhead suplex. Once again, that sheer power of Shire on display. Hooks a cradle. Doesn't quite get the hands locked as tight as he would like, and Suge's able to kick out. Battle has been exhausting for both men. It's very muggy and humid in here as it rained earlier today. So both men are feeling not only that, but that's just increasing and intensifying their fatigue from this matchup.
Shire taking a moment to consider himself when he should be putting boots to him, something.
Shire once again just showing the disrespect to Suge. Picking him up now, looking for the UFO. Unidentified flying opponent. Suge slides out into the sleeper hold. Shire trying to shove him off, push him back into the corner to break the hold. Suge jumps back onto the sleeper hold. He senses Shire's fatigue and is now trying to pull his last bits of energy out of him and shut Shire down. Putting his full body weight, making Shire not only carry his body weight. Shire gets the best escape out of there and dumps Suge down. Suge slaps the move back on though. He's now got his legs wrapped around Shire's abdomen. It's gonna be very difficult for Shire to get out of this.
He's using his, what was that word you call it, lankiness?
Lankiness, indeed. Suge firing hands to the back of his head. Now just a straight rear chin lock, bordering on a choke. Grandpa Booker T right there. Shire fights out of it, picks Suge up. 1, 2, where's he gonna go? Unidentified flying opponent. But Shire got the air taken out of him from the sleeper hold, made himself dizzy from the UFO, can't quite get over to make a cover. Suge down in the ring, barely moving. Shire rolled under the ropes, trying to muscle up the strength to get over and get that cover.
Someone's going to have to reach down deep.
And that maneuver has earned Shire his #1 contendership to the GWC. Helped him retain his #1 contendership to the GWC. Had he been able to run straight into a cover, he might have gotten the victory here.
That sleeper hold did its work.
Small package there, 1, 2. Looked like he got a little questionable call, but Grandpa Booker T saying he got the shoulder off just enough to stop the count.
Some of the fans at ringside expressed their disgust at that call.
Suge goes back on the attack instantly, snaps the headlock. Now pulls Shire into a pin. 2, 3. Suge D using his technical prowess to show no matter the opponent's strength or size advantage, technical wrestling can out-wrestle. Suge D continuing his path to prove that he is absolutely one of the best techers in the world.
And his lankiness. Don't forget his lankiness.
His lankiness definitely played a factor into that, being able to contort his body to roll up and kind of confuse Shire leading into that pin. Shire tried to reach out to the ropes to kick out, but was unable to do so before the count of 3. Suge D victorious here, now looks to a rematch with Alex Shelley on March 15th.
Perhaps we're not finished.
So, if you ever have any of those other tastemakers from anywhere else talk about the Georgia scene only knows about wrestling with an R, tell them to go shove it up their ass. Now you big son of a bitch. When I was gone, you held it down. You were this close to being the champ. And despite that Alex Shelley business, there were certain people that I had to check off the list in order to call myself the most magnificent techer in the world, and you were on it. That close. I'm gonna admit it. That close. No shame in losing to the better man, though. So that said, I'm here to pay you your respect.
Unbelievable matchup. Suge D, strong words for Alex Shelley after he defeats Thomas Shire. That match on March 15th, if you're not in District Atlanta, you are missing out on what could be an absolute classic. But before that, we got 5 women ready to roar, and that one is next.
Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Your show's been lacking something. Is it maybe the lack of rock and roll? Or maybe the women's division is lacking something. Yeah. You know what? It's lacking. It's lacking me, your lady of rock and rumble, Avery Taylor. Tonight, I officially make my debut. Something that should have happened a long time ago. And I'm in a tournament to be crowned the first ever women's champion. That's good. But you know, the girls in this competition, half of them I don't even know. I've never been heard of you, so why are you even in this competition? Why do you even get the privilege to work someone like me? I'm a little baffled. But it's okay. Because you girls are gonna learn tonight just why I'm on an elite level. I'm on a higher level than every single one of you. And if you think I'm lying, Google my name. Look me up. See what I've done, what I've accomplished in this business. So tonight, we'll add one more accomplishment to the long list. And that's your first Roar Women's Champion. Time to rock the house down, like I always do.
My name is ANGELUS LAYNE, and I didn't just return from what was supposed to be a career-ending neck injury to lose to 9 other women and not become the first ever Roar champion. So tonight, for the first time in my professional wrestling career, I'm taking home the title.
Yo soy la reina renegada, Amber Rodriguez. Y ya tú sabes, I think that Roar Women's title will look pretty damn good around my waist. Don't you think?
Opus, magnum 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 opus. I'm magnificent, my flows is ridiculous. Something to the raps, I adapt like a
Ladies and gentlemen, Roar Title Tournament Block B action, our second 5-way of the night.
Grandpa Booker T! Hold up. This guy just came back from a major medical issue. Ladies and gentlemen, do it again. Your referee contest is Grandpa Booker T.
This match starting off a little more formally than Block A did. 5 very different competitors, 2 well-seasoned vets, 3 making their return and debuts. Angelus LAYNE standing center of the ring. Aria Blake, the first lady of the hierarchy, charges right at her. Angelus just shoving everyone, trying to keep control in the center of the ring.
You know, Aria Blake at Squad Gold threw a shoe at me.
She threw a shoe, she did. And who does that? Who throws a shoe?
Oh, nicely done. No, I do believe I unnerved her a little.
Well, you do kind of have that effect on people. Angelus LAYNE showing her power. The 10-plus year veteran took some time off, retired actually, due to a neck injury. Took about a year and a half away, healed. She's in a better space physically and mentally than she's been in years, she told me. She won her first Roar match by forfeit. The first time that ever happened in Roar, when Aria Blake literally ran away.
And Ruthless had to come and exert herself as well.
It was pandemonium, it really was. Laying there with double knees right into the face of SEISHIN. La Reina Renegada, Amber Rodriguez. Trying to take control in this matchup. Head scissors out of the corner. Rodriguez, a 6-year vet herself, actually a military veteran as well, recently returned to the squared circle after a couple years away serving our country. She looks to reestablish her dominance and set herself as a top player. Little double teaming there, trying to eliminate Angelus LAYNE. I mean, it is elimination style, so we may see some some cooperation between some of the combatants, but it only comes down to one. Only one woman can move into the finals.
And oh, they got their heads together. See what I did there?
Angelus Layne having them both by the throat. Double choke slam. Goes to pin both women. 2, 3. Double elimination there. Angelus Layne showing off her power. Choke slamming and pinning both Amber Rodriguez and SEISHIN. We are now down to 3.
Easy to forget that the other two were there. They have been biding their time.
Well, I know that's Aria Blake's main strategy. She's always played the cerebral game. She runs away and bides her time. Avery Taylor is making her debut. She was supposed to debut at a previous event, but as you heard Wheeler say, she got the flu and was unable to attend. The Lady of Rock and Rumble trying to get this crowd behind her. Taking a big dive and a big chance. Lays Layne out on the outside. As Aria Blake just in the center of the ring cheerleading. More than happy to watch her opponents beat the tar out of each other.
And once again, a representative of the hierarchy, of course.
I mean, she started in the young hierarchy. She's been in this company for nearly 4 years. Has earned her place, as she calls. She wants the first lady of the hierarchy, the Queen of Roar. Can she make it official and win the championship here tonight? I mean, you mentioned that she's accompanied by Hunter Law on the outside. Hunter Law tried and failed at his last attempt to join the hierarchy at Show of the Year 6. We kind of speculated at the time what that would mean for Hunter Law and Aria, as Aria is a member of the hierarchy and Hunter, pretty much excommunicated. Apparently not affected their relationship, as Law is out here to support her. Taylor with a big spear, puts Layne down, hooks the leg. Aria Blake shoves her off, hooks the leg herself.
She wanted to make up for that forfeit against her.
Aria Blake, rather than let Taylor get the win and the shine, shoved Taylor off and took the pin herself.
Now, I understand in your position, you're supposed to be impartial. Call it how it is, but if you'll forgive me a little bias due to the hierarchy association.
Well, I mean, that's my correlation with the hierarchy over the years has been less than favorable, but as you mentioned, I try my best to not let my personal feelings show. Oh, Taylor showing showing the power advantage, as she has the size over Aria, something that Aria, is outsized by most of her opponents. Taylor could be going for the encore here. Aria rolls through though, hooks both legs, holds onto the ropes. 2, 3, there it is. She held the ropes, but under Roar rules, it is 100% legal. Taylor falling victim, as so many have, to Blake's manipulation of the Roar rules. Aria Blake wins here. We will see her in the finals to crown the first ever Roar champion.
Oh, whatever gods there may be, do not make me endorse seeing a member of the hierarchy become champion.
We very well could see.
We're going to take a beer break.
Well, that is it for this episode. Again, March 15th, District Atlanta. You've got to be in the building. ACH returns to defend the Georgia Wrestling Crown against AJ Gray. Like we said earlier, Shire versus Shelley, and the Young, Dumb, and Broke Boys defend the Georgia Wrestling Crown Tag Team Championship against the one and only Gym Nasty Boys, Timmy Lou and White Mike. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. And again, next week, we're going to take a very quick look at the two women that are in the finals of the Roar match. You just saw the big upset with Aria Blake winning that match. She'll face Shalondra Royal, who you saw in episode 1. That's all from me. We'll see you next week.
You know the name. Count. You already know when mic's on. I strike. Then grip like Python, feel great, accelerate, I'm top speed, big pop, then me, I'm top 3, dumb coming down. When I'm spitting like 100 rounds. Dog, I'm about to book a tour for 100 towns. Grown, man, spice you the mesto. 93 octane, it's petrol.
What do you want? Oh, I know what you want. I know what you want. You probably want me to talk about Sugar Dunkington today, right? How we got lucky? Yeah. Sugar, I had you down on the mat. 1, 2, supposed to be a 3 count, right? But the referee doesn't count 3 because we were both pinned. We both had our shoulders on the mat. And then you get a flash win on me, Suge. Because I was arguing with the referee, I didn't have my mind in the game. Well, Sugar, this isn't over. This is just the beginning. You want to extend your hand out to me in good sportsmanship and graps? Get real. Just like Chip Day got lucky, you got lucky today. And I can't even pay back Chip Day because he doesn't even have his title anymore. I can't take that away from him, can I? But there's something I can take away from you. And that's your pride, and that's your insane ability that you love so much in your technical game, right? No, Sugar. March 15th, if I can't get my hands on you because you're going to be busy with Alex Shelley, I'll get my hands on somebody else. Saigo no Chibudemade.